For what seems like an eternity, the Brooklyn Nets have been around the bottom of the league's 30 teams, with countless losing seasons, serious missteps in the front office. The Nets have seemed to be cursed, as mediocrity seemed inevitable for the franchise. However, with the signings of arguably the best scorer of all time in Kevin Durant, and the ball-handling wizard in Kyrie Irving, this new Nets team looks to step out of its old shadows and create a competitive winning culture for the fans of Brooklyn. Even though KD and Kyrie have yet to play a second together, they rightfully have championship expectations from both the fans and analysts alike. Even with Giannis leading the Bucks, who finished first in the Eastern Conference, 56 wins in 73 games. He's the reigning Defensive Player of the Year and two-time MVP. And then you got the Boston Celtics with Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Kemba Walker, and Marcus Smart. And then you got the Miami Heat, who just took the Lakers to 6 games and reached the NBA Finals. They got Jimmy, they got Bam, they got an abundance of talent on that roster. But we have to admit, the Brooklyn Nets, who was placed 8th last season, still should be viewed as the favorites, barring injury. So where do the Nets fit within the Eastern Conference picture? Well, it depends on one major thing. Again, that's the health of their two franchise pieces. In his 9 seasons in the NBA, Kyrie has never played a complete season. His injury bug continued last season as he missed all but 20 games due to a shoulder pain, which required him to shut down his season and undergo surgery. However, he is expected to make a full recovery, and that is great news for Nets fans and NBA fans all around. On the other side, KD missed the entirety of the 2019-2020 season while rehabbing his torn Achilles. Players like Dominique Wilkins, DeMarcus Cousins, Kobe Bryant, Rudy Gay have all suffered the same injury. However, due to such a long rehab that KD is taking, along with an extended break due to the extension of the 2020 NBA season, hopefully KD can come back better than ever. As important as the health is for these two stars, we all know that the supporting cast is just as key to the success of a competing team. And the Brooklyn Nets have just that, primarily in Spencer Dinwiddie and Caris LeVert. Dinwiddie has shown constant growth over his last 5 years, as he now averages 20 points a game on 41% shooting. With an elite shot-making ability and improved playmaking, there is no question Dinwiddie could already be a starting point guard or shooting guard on most NBA teams. Whenever Kyrie goes to the bench, the Nets can rest well, knowing they have an all-star-like talent in Spencer. And then there's Caris LeVert at 6'6", can score on all 3 levels. He is physical. He can get it done. We all know that. He had a great NBA bubble, and he put the NBA world on notice. LeVert's multi-dimensional offense, while still having tons of potential to grow, is a very good sign for the Nets. He isn't afraid of the big moment and excels under the bright lights, which will be very important for the team, as KD and Kyrie will attract most of the defense's attention, opening up a lot of space and freedom for LeVert to create. So how will the Nets match up against the East Elite? In hindsight, the Bucks could be trouble, but as you guys saw the previous 2 years, if you play a nice 3-2 or 2-3 defense and build a wall against a Giannis, you could have success against him. So then, there are the young stars in Boston. 2 legitimate all-stars in both Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. But once again, Boston should be no match for Brooklyn. Tatum, Brown, and Smart are all really good defenders. However, there is no one on that team that can stop either Kyrie or KD, let alone both of them. And Caris LeVert proved that no one can stop him either when he dropped 51 on Boston earlier last season. To add to that, both KD and Kyrie have proven that they can elevate their games, or even the biggest stage of the playoffs, which is the finals. These Celtics have yet to prove that they can make it out of the East, and experience is one of the best advantages that a team can have, which Brooklyn has. Lastly, how will the Nets stack up against the reigning Eastern Conference champions, the Miami Heat? They were the surprise of the playoffs last season due to the excellence of Jimmy Butler and Goran Dragic and the emergence of the young stud Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, Bam Adebayo. But with all that being said, Brooklyn should still come out on top, right? A strategy that the Lakers showed in their win over Miami in the finals was to double team Jimmy Butler in the post with ultra aggressive help, although that may sound like a recipe for disaster since Jimmy is a superstar that is willing to pass the ball to knock down shooters. The defense still worked and should work for Brooklyn due to the precision and intensity that Los Angeles put into their schemes. There is no reason why Brooklyn can't employ the same strategy for Miami. Just looking at this Nets team on paper, you have to admit it looks great, and there's a reason why so many have them as the favorites coming out of the East. With the rise in talent of Caris LeVert and the nice balance that Spencer Dinwiddie gives you off the bench, and the sharp shooting of a Joe Harris, not to mention the paint protection Jarrett Allen will provide for this team, wow, that's all you can really say. The West once again has questions that need to be answered. With the return of the Splash Brothers in San Francisco, the Clippers who choked in the playoffs, the Nuggets who showed exponential growth and improvement in this year's NBA bubble, Jokic and Jamal Murray looking like a beautiful duo that's going to be hard to handle. And then you got the Rockets still with one of the best players in James Harden, the best scorer in the NBA, and the ferocious tenacity of a Russell Westbrook, who, as we all know, could be a black hole in the playoffs, but in the regular season, he's a hell of a basketball player. And then you got the reigning NBA champions, LA Lakers, who will defend their title and will want to make moves this offseason. These are all questions, and we have yet to really fill out that there is a legit favorite. But any of these teams will love to clash with the Brooklyn Nets. So yeah, I do believe that if the Nets can stay healthy, they should come out of the East. And that's a big if because Kyrie, again, has yet to really stay healthy. And then we don't know how KD is going to return. But it's something to really think about, and it's super exciting for all NBA fans. Let us know what you guys think. Are the Nets the team to beat in the Eastern Conference? With all your latest NBA news, this is Leo Biaz for Basketball Zone and Cowbell Kingdom. Make sure you keep it here, you share, like, and subscribe. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you guys on the next one.